So because we do a lot of multiplying a binomial times a binomial, someone at some point created a little acronym that we call FOIL. And it's probably the most common one I see. There's other methods to show students how to multiply a binomial times a binomial. But this is the one I probably see the most. So it says if you have a binomial, a plus b, times another binomial, c plus d, then what we're going to do to help you remember is we're going to use the letters in the word FOIL. So F stands for the first terms. So you would take the A times the C. So that's going to be first, that'll be the F, A times C. So it's the first term in the binomial on the left times the first term in the binomial on the right. And then the O stands for outer terms. So you're going to take the A on the outside times the D on the outside. So the O is going to get you the AD. Okay? Then the I stands for the inner terms. So the I is going to be the two that are close together like that. So it's going to be plus BC. So meaning the inner terms, the two, in closest to each other, I guess. Okay. And then finally the L stands for the last terms. So similar to how you did the first terms, it's the last term here times the last term there. So L for BD. So it's just a way for you to organize how to multiply them. So it's FOIL, and it's used a lot. I'm going to use it. It's my preferred way to show how to do a binomial times a binomial. So first, outer, inner, last. You just have to make sure that the terms in the first polynomial get multiplied by all the terms in the second polynomial. Okay. So here we go with FOIL. So we'll go first x times x. So the F is going to be x squared. Now we're going to do the outer, x times 5. So that's going to be 5x. It's positive. 5x. Then we're going to do the inner. Okay, so that's going to be my I. And it's going to be a minus 7 times x. So minus 7x. And then finally, I've got to do the last. I did my colors all different, didn't I? Sorry about that. And that's going to be the L. It's going to be minus 7 times 5, which is 35. And then that's it right there. That's the FOILing. That's how you get the 4 terms. So you take a binomial times a binomial, you're going to get 4 terms. But if there are any like terms, we can combine them. So these two combine because it's 5x minus 7x. So my final answer is going to be x squared minus 2x minus 35. So usually the mistakes that I see come right here. People forget that x times x is x squared, and they'll just put x. So that's a mistake I see sometimes. And then sometimes they get confused on the last term, like how to multiply that. Okay, so here comes another one. We'll do the same thing. I'll try to follow the same color scheme. So first, now if you're like, I don't know what 3x times 5x is, you can just write it. You can just write 3x times 5x. And then we'll worry about what that equals on the next go around. Now I'm going to do the outer. So it's going to be the 3x outside term on the left times the minus 2 times the right. So it's going to be my O, minus, because it's in positive times a negative, and it's going to be 3x times 2. Now I'm going to do the inners, those two. So my I is going to be positive 7 times 5x. And then finally, I'm going to do the last, which is going to be this. Now it's positive times a negative, so it's going to be minus L, and it's going to be 7 times 2. I don't have to put negative 2. I already figured out that it was going to be minus. Okay, now I can multiply all those little monomial multiplications here. So I'm going to get 15 let's do it this way. 15x squared minus 6x plus 35x minus 14. And then a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times these two terms will be like terms in the middle, the O and the I, and we can combine them. So negative 6 and 35 is what, 29? Oops. 29x minus 14. Now you might be asking, well, would there be other terms that could combine? Maybe. The chances are kind of slim because of the way we set these problems up. Usually either the O and I combined or nothing combines. So, okay, those are those two. Welcome to FOIL.